What's up, Team Beyond the Week? Welcome to a Q&A. I haven't done one of these in a really long time. You guys have been requesting them, and I finally put it up on Instagram. So if you're not following me already, make sure that you follow me at Thick Solid Tight. I put up a giveaway and also a Q&A. So if you entered, you may have won. Check today to see if you were the winner of the t-shirt giveaway. But let's get right to the questions, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this, I think. So the first question comes from 7030 Fitness, and he says, where did you work before you got into YouTube as a career? I've worked at a few different jobs, but the one that I worked at last before I decided to transition over into doing YouTube, online coaching, clothing, all the stuff that I do now, was actually a personal trainer job at a corporate gym. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of LA Fitness, but that is where I worked, man. I got my cert, I was so amped, I wanted to do it so bad. And the thing that was really cool was by working at a corporate gym, they were the ones who bring me the clients, right? I didn't go like get my own clients. So I had one lady, she was 90, her name was Bobby. She was basically my grandma. She was like the nicest woman, so cool. But then I also had like, pairs of people. I also had a husband and a wife. I had a lady with scoliosis. I had a kid who was 16. I also had a 12-year-old kid. So what I'm saying is I had every type of person, from big to small, from old to young, from, completely clean bill of health to, we got to work around certain things. It was really cool, and I would suggest it for anybody who's actually looking into personal training as a career. Go work at a corporate gym and you'll get a good taste of all the variety. That way, when you go do your own thing, you kind of know how to train each type of person. The next question comes from a super good friend of mine. Dave does weight loss. He's the guy who actually visited in England, let me stay at his house, pretty much fed and bathed me and slept with me. I'm just kidding with you guys. But he says, what is your favorite part of being able to help people through your YouTube? Helping people is the best part about having a YouTube channel. And not everybody's like this. Some people are like, they want to show off to you. Some people are going to be famous. They want to be famous. Some people want to show you how rich they are. Some people want to show off this, that, and the other. My purpose is literally to help people. I just freaking love helping people because it's so rewarding. It's always been rewarding to me. I've always been brought up this way, to give. And the act of giving, when you see someone get excited about being given something, it's so much more rewarding than taking that for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather give someone shoes than buy myself new shoes. But my purpose of being on YouTube is just to improve people's quality of life. And one of my favorite things that I have two. One of my favorite things is when people go through the acne thing, because I did that. I know it. I understand it, man. I had it so bad. I go back to like week 10 and 11 of my acne series, and I'm like, wow, I forgot how bad it was. And I kept a positive smile. I was always happy and stuff, but it was there. I was like, man, I hate this acne. I wish I could get rid of it. I mean, whatever. I'm gonna keep living my life though. And so it was really cool to help people kind of get that same idea. Like they hate their acne, and for a lot of people, they let it like get into them, self-esteem. They were uncomfortable going out and doing things. But then by watching me be like, hey yo, I don't like this acne, but I don't let it stop me. I'm doing my thing. I'm still living and stuff. A lot of people have been like, hey man, I'm doing the same thing now. I got over the idea of not going out in public because you were so positive about yours, and that is one of the biggest things to me. The other thing I really like is I've had quite a few people tell me that they've been depressed. I've had a couple people who said they were actually suicidal, started watching my videos, and not entirely it was only just my videos, but my videos were a huge part of helping them kind of get out of that depression just by saying like, how I've dealt with my hardships in a really positive light. And that is like the most rewarding thing. No McLaren, no mega mansion, no sponsorship with any special company. Nothing could ever match giving someone their life back that they were gonna take from them. I mean, how could you get any better than that? So like, that is what I'm here to do. I am here to improve the quality of life of people and try to do anything I can to help and serve anybody. I love it so freaking much, my career and my passion. Brandon Physique and quite a few other people asked, if you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself and why? My advice that I would give myself, I think the one piece of advice that I give myself is, because I started YouTube, 5 years ago, if I could go back to that first year and start telling my stuff to do, I would be like, hey man, don't try to do comedy, don't try to do only weekly progress updates. Instead, vlog your full day of eatings, vlog your workouts, do demonstrational exercises, and really just vlog a lot more. Do a lot more personal vlogging and just try to be more authentic, genuine, and transparent. Show your acne, show your problems, show when you're messing up, show your cheat meals, all that stuff. Because in the beginning, I was trying to present myself as a character. I was trying to be Mr. Physique Man, Mr. Bodybuilder guy. I was trying to be like a newscaster, right? So it didn't feel authentic. And so I was there, you know, while Nick Wright, Matt Ogus, Chris Jones, while they were all starting their channels, starting to get that popularity. But I was too young of a person. I had my baby face, I had my acne, I wasn't comfortable with what I was doing on camera. It was a very ingenuine type of content that I was putting out. So it was hard for people to latch on. So I didn't grow. I mean, I've only started growing in the last year, and I've been on it for 5 years. If I could tell myself back then to do what I'm doing now, I personally think I would be a lot farther than where I am now. I think I would be one of the originals, but I understand why I wasn't. Franekova asks, where did the name Beyond the Week come from? Where did that all start from? Essentially, when I first started bodybuilding, and this was 9 years ago, I was really into the motivation side. And a lot of you guys understand this. When you're first starting, that's when motivation is the biggest thing to use. Like, you're getting motivated to do it, you're getting motivated to become serious, take it professionally and all that stuff. And then, you know, dedication takes over, and just personal enjoyment and pleasure of what you're doing takes over. But in the beginning, I was just so motivated. I used to watch Ronnie Coleman lift. You know, I used to watch that. You guys know that video I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy, 8 plates. All that stuff. I used to watch that. I used to watch Kai Green, I used to watch Jay Cutler, and these videos were so motivating, and there wasn't a lot of content available, right? So I was getting motivated by all these things, and some of them had sayings and stuff, some of them had companies. There weren't necessarily so many clothing companies out there. There weren't so many like companies as far as like Machine, Gymshark, Aesthetic Physique, all these other ones, right? And so I didn't start my clothing company until 2014, but the idea was always there. That's why I started my YouTube channel. I wanted to motivate people. I wanted to be that guy that other people would look at and be like, oh man, he was there 6 days a week this week. I don't know why I wasn't there. I should go 6 days a week. Or like, oh man, I just watched his chest workout. It got me lit up. I can't wait to do my chest workout, because that's how I used to be, man. I would watch Kai Green, and I'd see his, I know it sounds weird, I'd see his muscles move, I'd see him squeeze, I'd see the top of his muscles squeeze, I'd see his face, he'd be talking about squeezing him, and he'd feel the blood go into the muscles, gorge it, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff got me really amped up. So I wanted to be something that could amp other people up, get them into doing what I loved, and motivate them through showing my passion. So eventually, I wanted to have my own clothing company so that I could represent in a brand instead of myself, because I feel having yourself be the key or the hero of everything is very egocentric, and I'm not the best. I'm not. But an idea can be the best. It can be the best. It can be anything for anyone, you know? If you're 14 and you grow up with Beyond the Week in front of you, you wear the Beyond the Week shirts, you go from being skinny to gaining some muscle, you start getting bigger and bigger, and the whole time you've always identified with Beyond the Week. You know, I'm trying to become beyond the weak parts of myself, the parts of myself that I find to be weak. I'm trying to improve on those things. And as you grow up with those things, it becomes very visceral, it becomes more than just like a brand. It becomes more than just some words. It becomes something that you just identify with. You know how when you think of like people you used to watch or celebrities or companies or cartoons that you used to watch, it's very nostalgic. Same idea. I wanted to have something that people could, for the rest of their life, always have in their mind as something that pushes them, that motivates them. So that's where I came up with Beyond the Week. The name itself, like I just said, it's Beyond the Week. That's the name. But then it keeps going, part of yourself. So whatever you identify with as being your weakness. I'm not saying, you know, what other people say is your weakness, because maybe that's not something you define as your weakness. Maybe that's just something they find weird. That's cool. But if anything that you find is weak in your body or in your personality or in your life, that's where Beyond the Week comes in. You try to improve and become Beyond the Week part of yourself. Another friend of the channel and another YouTuber, DannyJun97, says, what do you do when you have bad workouts? What do you do when you encounter them? And how do you go about making those workouts not terrible? How do you deal with all that? I have bad workouts every once in a while, as in terms of like, I go into the workout and I'm like, oh, I can tell I didn't sleep enough, or oh, I didn't drink enough water, or oh, I should have eaten more food today. So of course you go into it and you realize something's off. I'm not feeling like Superman. I'm not feeling like there's gasoline in all my muscles and I need to light them on fire, you know what I'm saying? So in those times, in those moments when I'm getting into a workout, I'm realizing I'm not pushing myself as hard, or I'm burning out a little bit earlier or something like that. What I'll do is it's kind of, I guess, self-masochist, I guess. I think about it like this. I think like, if you let yourself be weak right now, if you let yourself be a little bitch because you don't feel as hydrated as you should be, or you're tired or whatever, if you don't push yourself through the pain of maybe your muscles burning more quickly and they're getting more deep burn than they usually do, if you don't push yourself through that, then why should you deserve a great physique, or why should you deserve the results that you're gonna get, right? Because if you can only push when all circumstances are correct and all circumstances are perfect, then you're not truly pushing at all times. So my favorite thing to do when I'm having a bad day or whatever and I go work out, maybe I'll lighten the weights up a little bit so that I'm using correct form, and I'll go a little higher reps. But when I feel that burn, when I feel like, hey, okay, it's time to stop, like I'm gonna go to 11 and then 12, that's when I'm gonna stop. I literally think, okay, I'm gonna stop at 12. And then as I'm getting closer to 12, I'm thinking, you can't stop at 12. You literally cannot stop at 12. Do not let go of those handles. It hurts, huh? Your form is probably not as great as it should be, but you need to get 4 more. And when you finish that, it hurts so bad. Your muscles burn so bad. It does not feel good at all. But in your mind, you feel good because you just push your physical body past what your mental idea of pain was. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I do it. I just can't handle having a bad workout. I can't handle letting myself into the mindset of, I don't feel good today, so I'm not gonna try as hard. Jay Omar has a pretty cool question. He says, anything outside of lifting in the gym and whatnot that you want to do with your life? Also, are you planning on owning a gym? One of the biggest things I want to do with my life is I want to travel. That's my own selfish thing. It's one of the things I want to do personally for me. I really want to see every location that I think is interesting, and I want to understand the culture. I want to understand how the people work there. I want to see the good, the bad of the country. I don't want to go to, you know, when people go to Jamaica and they're like, oh yeah, man, Jamaica's so cool, man. It's like one of the most luxurious places ever. But if you've ever actually looked at a documentary of Jamaica, the resort that we travel to is amazing. But then 85% of Jamaica is terrible, poverty-stricken, people working in factories for like pennies on the dollar, not making any money, struggling. And I mean, it's cool to go to the resort in a location, but what you're doing is you're having the American experience, and that's not what I want. I want to understand how the country actually works. I want to make friends who are real, who are literally living in that place, going through that stuff, and I want to be able to talk to those people on a constant basis, and I want to help those people. So I want to travel for myself. But then ultimately what I really want to do is I want to use my outreach on YouTube, on social media, on Instagram. I want to use my brand, my company. I want to use the money that eventually I will be able to earn and kind of build up, you know, a yearly amount of annual revenue. I want to use that to help other people. And so what I'm saying is, like, if I can make $150,000 one year, instead of going to the McLaren, I know I keep saying that, but whatever, instead of going to the whatever Ferrari dealership or the BMW dealership and being like, hey, I've got $60,000 in this suitcase, I want to buy that new car right there. What I would rather do is I would rather just get a $5,000 car that's going to take me A to B to C. It'll be able to drive to all the expos and stuff. And I'd like to take the rest of that money and help people with it. And I don't mean I want to donate it to Red Cross and then just kind of like let it fly. I want to go visit countries that are going through bad things, man. I want to see a family and I want to see, like, you know, I don't want to see them struggling, but I want to go to a family that's struggling. I want to go live in their house for a couple days, and then I want to leave them and I want to see them. Yeah, I mean, those types of people are such real people that I bet you they would house me, and then that's all they would expect. They would just expect me to have a good time and I'll see you later. And then I want to leave their house and be like, hey, listen, here's $10,000. I really want to see your kids go through school. I really want to see you guys be able to have food without struggling. You see what I'm saying? My purpose, my literal purpose in life, I know it may sound cheesy or cliche or whatever. I just want to freaking help people. I just want to make people's lives better. I want to improve what they're doing. I want to make them have to struggle less, especially people who are trying way harder than you, way harder than me. People who are working way harder with way harder conditions, but being rewarded so much less. Those are the type of people that I want to reach out, improve their lives, and then give them the platform themselves to continue improving their lives so that they don't have to ever live back where they were before. The last question of this Q&A, because I don't want it to get too crazy long, this one's by Jacob, and he says, was there ever a point when soccer was actually going to become your career? Were you ever close to that? And it's actually a really good question, because It absolutely was. I don't know if you guys know this, soccer or football. Soccer was a huge part of my life. It was essentially bodybuilding to me before I got into bodybuilding. I actually played soccer for longer than I have bodybuilding. So I bodybuilt for about 9 years and I've lifted for about 9 years. I started soccer when I was, I think 5, something like 5, and then I didn't stop until I was 16, 17. And I mean, I was in it to win it, man. A lot of people think I was like cocky or whatever, but I played it all the time. I practiced 4 to 5 times a week with my team, and then I had 2 independent training sessions with a previous Italian professional player. His name was Elio, and essentially what I would do is I go to the practices, I'd get better at the drills, the teamwork and whatnot, and then I would go and do these 2 to 3 sessions with Elio, and I would perfect my touch. I would get the finesse, I'd get the English, I'd be able to, get a ball to curve around when I do a cross or a crucible, la pelota. Man, I freaking loved soccer so much. And the thing that was happening was I was getting better and better, so I started with AYSO, then I went to All-Stars, then from All-Stars I went to Matrix, which is where all my high school kids, my high school team, they were all from the Matrix team. And I was like, man, this is why you're all being played and they don't like me. I moved from Matrix onto something called Alliance, which then turned to SD United. But so essentially I just moved up into a club that was premier level, because I know it's so confusing. There's like AAA, there's AA, AB, something. There's like so many different grades. But anyways, I got to premier level, and that's pretty much like the best club level you can get. And then from there you go into college, and then from there you go into some sort of career, right? So at that time, I was playing Premier, and then Elio was able to get me into the practice squad of the San Diego Sockers, which is a indoor professional team. And what they were gonna do is they were gonna pay me a salary, which was pretty low, but when I was a kid, I mean, I was only like, I think 17, maybe just about to turn 18. That was gonna be a pretty good salary. I was pretty stoked about it. Plus, what it was doing was it was giving me practice squad, and then I was going to be able to move on to the official squad. And then by being on the official squad, if I did well on the San Diego Sockers, I would be seen by people who were, an actual MLS team scouts. So then I would be able to go from indoor soccer professionally to outdoor soccer professionally. And then who knows? I mean, I'm not guaranteeing you that I would be on a freaking MLS team right now on TV, but likely with the way that I was practicing, with the ambition that I had, the motivation I had to become one of the best, and I was a defender, defenders in the country, I think that would have likely been my career if I didn't switch to bodybuilding. What happened was I actually saw my brother start lifting. I was like, damn, man, he's getting some muscle. Then I started getting into it, and then I was like, damn, I love this. I love the feel of lifting. And so I just couldn't even help it. I had to lift. And then it kind of like switched over. High school soccer team kind of ruined me, because I was like, man, these kids taking it seriously, but I'm the only one on the team taking it seriously. And then I kind of had to like decide, and that kind of like ruined it for me. And then I continued with bodybuilding. And then now I don't do soccer at all anymore. I wish I could get back into it. Maybe I will. You're never too old to get back into old passion. Anyways, that was the story of how I almost got into soccer as a career. So there you have it, guys. I don't want this to go too long. Q&As tend to go really long, so I answer about 5 to 6 questions that take about 1.5 minutes each to answer. And if you guys want to see me do another one of these sessions, I love to do these Q&As. They're so much fun. So please, if you do, let me know in the comments below. I absolutely will do more. I love to talk to you guys about myself. I know that's a little egocentric, so I don't know if you guys want to see that. That's why I'm asking you. But if you do, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram so you can ask questions, you can join the giveaways, you can be a part of the community further than just the uploads. And I appreciate you guys coming in here showing support. It really means a lot to me. Leave a comment if you liked it. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I think you guys know what's coming up next. CT?
Lift heavy or die, MIRIN, mother.